Okay, good evening, everyone.
Half hour.
Welcome to the 2024 organizational meeting of the Kenilworth Board of Education, and Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a happy and healthy holiday. Adequate notice of this special meeting of the Kenilworth Board of Education has been provided to the Home News Tribune, Union County Local Source, the Star Ledger on January 6, 2023. A copy has been filed with the Kenilworth Borough Clerk, posted in the Board of Education Business Office, Harding School, David Brearley School, the Kenilworth Borough Hall, as is provided by the Open Public Meetings Act. The purpose of this meeting is to organize the Board of Education for the 2024 year in accordance with statute and KBOE Policy 0151. Would you all please stand and salute the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, certification of newly elected board members. I, Vincent Ganella, Secretary of the School District of the Borough of Kenilworth, County of Union, New Jersey, do hereby certify that the following named persons received the highest number of votes and were duly elected as members of the Board of Education of the School District of the Borough of Kenilworth, County of Union, New Jersey, at the school election held November 7, 2023, in the Borough of Kenilworth, to wit, three-year terms expiring December 31st, 2026. Greg David, Ryan Haberther, and Nancy Zimmerman. And I do further certify that Greg David, Ryan Haberther, and Nancy Zimmerman were elected to the terms set forth above. I will now administer the oath of office with the Mr. David, Mr. Haberther, and Mrs. Zimmerman. Please come forward.
I thought we were just standing up here. Is that right?
I think well, you want to get a good view for the camera.
Sorry, Vince. I apologize. I was
Stand there, face the camera. Okay. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Greg David, Ryan Haberther,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Greg Haberther,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified
and that I am not disqualified
as a voter
as a voter
pursuant to
pursuant to
RS 19-4-1,
RS 19-4-1,
nor disqualified due to a conviction of a crime
nor disqualified due to a conviction of a crime
or offense listed in
or offense listed in
NJS
NJS
18A
18A,
12-1,
18A 12-1,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Want to get a picture?
no.
No? No picture?
Come on. Everybody's in a rush tonight.
They're all veterans. They're all veterans, so thank you. Okay. We will now conduct roll call. Biner? Here. David? Here. Drogan?
Here,
Ferrara?
Here.
Haberther?
Here.
Ladati?
here.
Panici?
Here.
Tiers?
Here.
Zimmerman?
Here.
All members are present. Okay, next we'll be doing nominations for president. Nominations are now open for presidents. Once nominations are closed, I will call for a vote on each of the nominations in the order they were nominated. As soon as one of the nominees has received a majority vote, I will declare that individual elected. Do I hear any nominations?
I'll nominate Dr. Panici for president.
I'll second that.
A nomination was made for Dr. Panici, made by Mr. Ladati, seconded by Mrs. Drogan. Are there any additional nominations for president?
I'd nominate Ryan Haberther.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
I was waiting.
Are there, that was a nomination for Mr. Haberther, made by Mrs. Zimmerman, seconded by Mr. Haberther. Are there any additional nominations? Hearing them, may I have a motion to close nominations for president?
So moved. Second.
Second. Motion was made by Mr. David, seconded by Mr. Haberther. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Nominations are now closed. We will now vote on the nominations in the order. First one was for Dr. Michelle Panici for president. Signify by saying yes or no to the nomination. Mr. Biner.
Yes.
Mr. David.
Yes.
Mrs. Drogan.
Yes.
Mr. Farrar.
Yes.
Mr. Haberther.
No.
Mr. Ladati.
Yes.
Mrs. Panici. Dr. Panici.
Yes.
Ms. Tiers.
Yes.
Mrs. Zimmerman.
No.
Having received 7 affirmative votes, I declare Dr. Panici president for the Kenilworth Board of Education, and I will now turn the chair over to the president. Congratulations.
Thank you. We'll now take, thank you, everybody. Hopefully, we have another good year. At this time, we'll do the nominations for vice president.
Okay.
You want to lead down?
Yep. Okay, so now nominations for vice president are open. Is there a nomination for vice
I
president?
I'd nominate
Greg
Ryan
David.
Haberther.
Okay.
Ryan.
Ryan Haberther was made by Nancy Zimmerman, seconded by, is there a second?
Go ahead,
Second.
Ryan.
Okay. Second by Ryan. So nomination for vice president of Mr. Haberther, made by Mrs. Zimmerman, seconded by Mr. Haberther. Is there an additional nomination?
Nomination for Greg David.
I'll second.
Nomination for Mr. David, made by Mrs. Drogan, seconded by Mr. Biner. Are there any additional nominations? Hearing none, may I have a motion to close the nominations for vice president?
So moved.
Made by Mrs. Zimmerman, seconded by
Paulette.
Paulette Drogan. Okay. All those in favor of closing nominations for vice president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll now go through the vote. First nomination was for Mr. Haberther. This is for vice president. Signify by saying yes or no. Mr. Biner?
No.
Mr. David?
No.
Drogan?
No.
Ferrara?
No.
Haberther?
Yes.
Ladati?
No.
Panici?
No.
Tiers?
No.
Zimmerman?
Yes.
Okay, not receiving the majority of the votes, we will now take the vote on the second nomination, which was Mr. David. Signify by saying yes or no. Mr. Biner?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Strogan?
Yes.
Ferrara?
Yes.
Haberther?
No.
Ladati?
Yes.
Panici?
Yes.
Tiers?
Yes.
Zimmerman?
No.
Receiving the majority necessary for selection, I declare Mr. David Vice President of the Kenilworth Board of Education for the 2024 year. Okay?
Anything else?
You could review,
Yeah, so committees,
committees.
if everyone wants to email me or let me know, committees can say the same, or you can email me requests, and then I'll do it and get it to Mr. Canella, by Thursday.
How quickly do you need that?
If you can, like, the faster everyone puts in their requests, I try to get it to him usually within 48 hours of when the meeting happens, so that he can send it out to everybody. So I would say if you have any requests by Thursday, so I can get it to him by, you know.
yeah, don't forget, we have a board meeting on Monday, so
No, I
it's,
know. Oh, it has to be done by then.
So
just
I,
have-
I know,
Yeah.
I had a request for, people want to know exactly what the committees do, so I asked Vince for a copy of it, and I have a copy of it here. in case, maybe we can make some more copies if anybody needs it.
Or I can email,
tonight.
I can email.
I can email it to everybody tomorrow, so.
So, yeah, because we never discussed what each of these entails. I mean, finance forever, but, you know, what is the, when I pick a committee, it's never been discussed what's involved with that committee. Like Winfield Park is not a committee, but it's something like, and what does that entail? I mean, there's never been an explanation, so I have it because I had requested it also.
You're speaking about the non-standing committees or all the committees?
All the committees, I mean, what's
I
involved?
mean, even the
Like,
little ones like Union County Ed Services, et cetera.
and like, my concern is curriculum, like, I don't know if they read all the stuff, they know what's going on. People are asking what's going on in some of the health.
You want me to fix it?
I have, no, I'm just saying, and,
It's impossible to read all the curriculum from pre-K to 12 in
Okay.
all those grades. It's impossible.
Okay.
We go off of the expertise of, you know, Kyle and the principals and Sam and everyone else that is involved in writing this curriculum, the teachers that take involvement in it as well. And the trainings that they do and things like that, and then it's turnkey towards us. We're informed, we ask questions, you know,
Well, that's
we
what I'm
see
getting.
data and
Okay.
things like that, so.
I've also, and I could do it more in depth, but at the committee level, I also give highlights of any major changes.
When it
And
happens.
when that happens, yeah.
But
And
it's-
there's also, the curriculum's also included in the packet, right? When it's approved?
As with any board, I mean, sometimes I got blindsided by my neighbor on something in 5th grade. I talked to Kyle about it, but I mean, on any committee, because people, I'm sure have come up to you and said, why are the lights on at the school? I've gotten that conversation. So it's hard to manage the entire school district if you're head of a curriculum or head of finance or something like that. Surprises are not great, but when you don't seem like you know what you're talking about, but that's gonna come up though, right?
no, and you don't remember everything, like I have,
Right.
well, how many people are in the school? Well, I don't really remember that. I know about, or, I understand what you're saying, but there's some things in the curriculum now that people are concerned about. And so,
Because people aren't reading the standards correctly.
they're not getting this, I don't think they're getting the standards. I mean, does that go
I
home to
mean,
every
the
parent?
New Jersey standards are accessible to everyone in the state, no matter who you are. You just have to go on the website. And then it's the materials and things that the district finds fit for their students that go along with those standards. And teachers have trainings and stuff, so.
Well, what I'm having here right now, I have some questions about. So I know everyone wants to be somewhere else.
I don't need to be anywhere
No, I
else.
know you don't, but
keep sitting
there's
there.
half these people here, they want to.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right, I'm just saying that I have questions about some of this stuff, and I would like to have some, maybe a training even of what's being shown. I mean, if you can't show it to us, you're showing it to 12-year-olds, it's a concern. I've
Can you say
never.
more about, what do you mean by what's being
Well,
shown?
why would a parent be questioning? There must be something that they are worried about, or they might think their child's learning, or maybe the book goes home and they see what they're learning.
Uh-huh.
That was just one. I mean, I have
I
questions.
first have to, don't want to interrupt you, but
I'm sorry.
we're going a little bit out of order. I'm supposed to do my ethics training first. And then we get into
Then we get
discussion.
into
about
Those
Business
resolutions.
ethics
and
won't
old
stop me
business.
from asking questions.
I apologize, because I just went off on a tangent by explaining, I said,
Well, we were talking about committees.
The committee thing, that's why I
Michelle's
brought
talking about
that up.
committees, but
Yeah,
we weren't
so-
More
talking
so
about
about
the
what each
specific
committee is
resolutions.
responsible for.
I brought it, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, the committees we were on committees, but then we got into specific resolutions, so, anyway. So,
Yeah, I got a copy of it.
Yeah.
Very
What is that,
basic.
like a combination of things from all of the
You want to take a
bylaws?
look? No, you have to do your ethics.
from the bylaws, it is from
I
the
feel
bylaws.
I have a handle on what each committee is supposed to do,
Okay.
so I don't.
Well, good
But I'm just
evening.
curious if this was in the bylaws.
It is, yeah.
This training satisfies the Board of Education requirement to annually review ethics. It allows the board the opportunity, I'm using this, by the way, this up there is not really what I'm reading. That is more for public consumption at home. So Bruno will be focusing on the slides. I'm gonna be reading and doing a little bridge version of this. You've all had extensive training, and there's no new board members here, So you've had training through New Jersey school boards, as well as many of you have heard my presentation multiple times. So some of you not as many, some of you more. So this is an opportunity to review the Code of Ethics and discuss it with one another. It's a general review. If we have very specific topics that we want to review, I recommend that we review those with Mr. Gagliardi when he's here. Okay? Sorry.
Message from Lillian Positano, yes.
Okay. In addition to the discussion, the board has adopted policies and bylaws regarding ethics. You all have access to all the board policies and bylaws through our Strauss Esme portal. If you don't remember how to access the Strauss Esme portal, let us know and we can assist you. It's a very powerful tool. Every single bylaw, every single policy, every single regulation is on that online service, as well as 18A, as well as code. So it's a very powerful tool. You can search by various, you can put in committee. If you put in committee, that policy that Mr. Ladati was just showing would pop up as probably the primary thing. So if you guys don't know how to get access to that information was given to you during your new board member orientation way back when you became a new board member. So if you lost it or you want access to it, let me know. Also, as I said earlier, in your packets, there's a document, this document, that each of you can sign acknowledging the training and the review of the ethics training, and if you could get that back to me. Okay, so I'd like to now go over the Code of Ethics according to 18A 12-24-1. The New Jersey School Board Code of Ethics is set as a set of principles and standards and guide the behavior of school board members in the state. It serves as a framework for ethical conduct, promoting transparency, integrity, and responsible decision-making in the governance of school districts. Here's a brief overview. Service to public. The school board members pledge to serve as advocates for the students and community, working to ensure the best possible education for all students. Decision-making. Members commit to making decisions based on available facts, free of bias or conflicts of interest, and in the best interest of the students. Conflicts of interest. Board members are expected to avoid conflicts of interest and not to use their personal position for personal gain or the gain of family members or associates. Policy implementation. Members agree to implement and support policies established by the board, even if they personally disagree with them, and to discuss such differences in a constructive and respectful manner within the board. Confidentiality. Board members are expected to respect the confidentiality of privileged information and not to disclose confidential matters to the public without proper authorization. Communications. Members commit to fostering open and honest communications within the board and within the public. This includes listening to the concerns of the community and providing explanation for board actions. Professional development. The board members acknowledge the importance of ongoing professional development to enhance their understanding of education issues and responsibilities of board membership. Legal and ethical standards. Members pledge to abide by all relevant laws and regulations, as well as the ethical standards set forth in the School Board Code of Ethics. Respect for the role of the superintendent. Board members recognize the superintendent as the chief executive officer of the school district and agree to work collaboratively with them. Commitment to the education process. Members commit to staying informed about current educational issues and to actively participate in education programs to improve their effectiveness as board members. The School Board Code of Ethics is designed to ensure those serving as school board members to adhere to the high standards of conduct and contribute to the effective governance of the educational system. I'll now move to the School Ethics New Jersey Act, NJSA 18A 12-24. The School Ethics Act is a set of regulations and guidelines designed to establish the ethical standards of school board members and school officials in the state. It provides a framework of ethical conduct, ensuring that those in positions of authority within the education system adhere to principles that promote transparency, integrity, and accountability. And here is a brief overview. The primary purpose of the Act is to maintain public confidence in the integrity of the educational system by setting forth ethical standards and expectations for the school board members and school officials. Some of the key provisions include the Act outlines standards of conduct for school board members addressing areas such as conflicts of interest, acceptance of gifts, and the use of public office for personal gain. It establishes procedures for filing and investigating complaints related to ethical violations. The Act may include restrictions on board members' involvement in certain contractual matters to avoid conflicts of interests. Financial disclosure. The school board members and certain school officials may be required to file financial disclosure statements to provide transparency about their financial interests. I skipped that one, yeah. The training and education. The Act may mandate training and education programs for school board members to ensure they are aware of the understanding and ethical standards set forth. In fact, Nancy just asked me earlier, all the board members who just got sworn in will have to now go for a governance 4 training at some point during this next calendar year. And you can do that virtually, online, or in person. There are several opportunities for you to do that. Enforcement of penalties and enforcement and penalties. The School Ethics Commission, established by the Act, is responsible for receiving and investigating complaints regarding alleged violations and ethical standards. Penalties for violations may include censure, suspension, or removal from office, depending on the severity of the offense. Conflicts of interest. The Act provides guidance on how school board members should handle situations where there may be a conflict of interest, emphasizing the importance of the decisions made in the best interest of students and the community. It is important to consult the most recent version of the Ethics Act, as well as again, contacting our board attorney if you have any questions or concerns regarding the Ethics Act. Ethics common areas of concern, financial involvement. You could always recuse or excuse yourself when an immediate family member's financial involvement might reasonably be expected to impair your objectivity. Do not discuss or vote on that involvement. Personal involvement. Recuse yourself when you or a member of your immediate family have a personal involvement that creates some benefit to you or the immediate family member. Hey, Kyle. Oh, no, I didn't answer too far. Advisory opinions. Advisory opinions are issued by the School Ethics Commission on request. If we do have some type of conflict that we're not sure, and our board attorney or New Jersey School Boards Association cannot assist us, we could always ask the School Ethics Commission for an advisory opinion. The advisory opinions are public and are often the basis of how other decisions are made later on, moving down through the years. The doctrine of necessity. This is when where so many board members have ethical conflicts that the board cannot function. Then the board may use the doctrine of necessity, which will allow the board to function as if no member had a conflict. So if multiple people have to recuse themselves, but we had to make this decision, we could move forward. Okay. Finally, where do you get help? Our board attorney. Mr. Gagliardi, as I said, the School Ethics Commission, they're helpful as well as New Jersey school boards can assist us. So are there any questions about either the Code of Ethics or the Ethics Act?
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you. Just remember to sign your forms and return them to me.
Thank you, Mr. Canal. So before the roll call of resolutions, did everyone have a chance to go through it? Does anyone have any questions? I know you had emailed, but if anybody had
Yeah.
questions ahead of time,
So-
is there anyone you want to go through specifically?
So let me just go, before I was asked, I was contacted for 4 questions. One was the committee info. The second one was, are our legal fees in line, okay, for our bond counsel labor and our board attorney? Handling attorneys all day long, fees are actually pretty under what they should be. So we're getting a pretty good deal on our legal fees. So hope that answers that question. The second one was the peer review for our auditor. I think that happens every 2 years, if I'm right, Vince, so.
I believe so.
I guess we could get you the next time that comes around, and get you the information, but he's in good standing, from what I remember from the last time I took a look at it, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I never remember seeing one, it says we're responsible to
I
look at
think
it.
it's,
But if it's not yearly
I don't think you
even-
guys see the peer review, it's just basically Vince, and I kinda took a look at it, so.
So
but
would you
it's-
say it's done every other year?
It's not done every year. I don't, Vince, is it every other year, what do we do?
I'm not sure if it's even every other year.
Okay,
I'll
okay.
ask the-
No, I just read where it said we're supposed to read it before and not happening.
Okay.
So, and the final question I had was on residency, so I know we kind of do a good job, and I know I'm kind of always into the residency, but I suggest that if you have any known fact or someone comes up to you with an issue that you let Kyle or the school principal know, and then they could take a look at it. I don't know what else to do besides that, on a residency issue.
Well, my question was, how, I remember, I've heard this in the past, but just to refresh all of our memories, we don't really check everyone every year, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
So when you send a packet out, do you at least request that they send back some proof that they live here? Here's what happened to me, and someone that I know that walks all the time said they are on Monroe Avenue, there's a New York car stopping and letting the children out on on Michigan, and they walk down. Now, it could be a parent that has custody I don't know. And they've seen it quite a few times. So, and if that's just one case that happens to be seen, it's going on.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I sent out 2 letters today requesting information from parents who are suspected of not living in the community. And there's a process that we go through that will either verify or not verify that. Not going to divulge our process
I
right
know the
now.
process.
But if you're able to provide us student names and student information, I just can't.
No, I understand that. The question is, are we at least looking at their residency, whether it's
When they register, absolutely.
a bill, electric bill?
Leases expire.
Yeah, when their lease expires, we request for updated information. A
Didn't we
lot of
also have to
people,
provide like a state, I remember when my kids were going to school.
Every
we had to
other
provide
year.
Every
like-
other
we used
year.
to do it every other year, but
Okay.
it wound up being very difficult and it
I'm
was
sure.
inconsistent.
Yeah,
Because you had multiple people. That's why now we have one person who does it, who goes through it, pulls out certain number of registrations a month and looks at them, see if the
Any red
date of the
flags?
lease is expired, and then we will request for a new lease.
oh, we assume if somebody
Yeah.
owns their house, they're not,
Correct.
they're living in town.
Right, but that doesn't also mean that they didn't sell their house, which has happened in the past.
Well, yeah, I mean, we
Right.
had that case a couple years ago.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And just FYI, the council, some people on the council are looking to open up or make anybody in the community eligible to rent a room out. Okay, they're negotiating it now, and,
No.
well, nobody even knows about it.
No,
So
this-
hopefully, I mean, I've spoken to enough people to make them aware of it. If that would go through, I can't even tell you what would happen in the school system.
Yeah.
So I wished you would look into this, or get something, like you said, every other year or something. Everybody should have to send in an electric bill in that packet that goes out. Please provide an electric something.
I think they do a good job.
I put together something on residency not that long ago. I could reissue it just to share
I'm
our
just saying,
process
like,
at a high
some-
level with you.
And it's hard because if a family, it could be the Rodriguez is the mother, but then there's children, because I get the applications for help. It's like, the kids are Vitals, they have many other names, and there's, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying it's very hard if you're not checking the renter or owner's information, it's very hard to.
Why don't I share with you our process, and then if there are questions or ideas, we can workshop them.
Okay, that
Happy to
was
do
a
that.
concern of mine.
So I think I answered everybody's questions that sent me an email. So anybody else have anything else on the resolutions? So-
Just on some of the
I'm sorry.
curriculum.
Go ahead.
Quick question. Hopeful, and I know, and we're not gonna do this tonight, but I really like more information on what's going on, what's being taught. And one quick thing was, English. I see that English 1, 2, 3, 4, that the years change. Sometimes they're the same for many years and then they're changed. Is that just because they update the curriculum or something, or?
Yeah, what, can you point my attention
Well,
to a
the
page number?
English that's on page 14, and I think it was some health and some science, social studies, I'm sorry. So that's on page 17. There was a whole bunch of what was consistently 1 year, then they jumped. And I just wondered, in some cases, that might be new books, as John told me here.
Isn't this just the passing of the courses that are going to be
Curriculum.
available?
This is the curriculum.
No,
Yeah.
this is our district-wide curriculum, and
Yeah.
when the current curriculum under which teachers are teaching was adopted.
So the curriculums they're not updated every single year, so this has the dates of when when they were adopted.
Yeah, I mean, there's an old,
Yeah.
right, required 5-year cycle, but then we often go off-cycle because new standards are released and we're required to implement those standards. Yeah, implement those standards, and then the cycle gets a little bit wonky.
Yeah, but some cases they
Yeah,
change.
and then the books are here also.
Standards.
Well, like math has new standards for
Sex
next year.
education certainly
ELA
changes.
has
So-
new standards for next year too.
And that's mandatory.
She's uncomfortable
I'm
with it,
just-
just tell
but I-
Vincent to
math
set
is
the resolution.
I can't
For that
vote
one.
on
Well,
this.
but there's no reason, if she's got a question that she's asking at a board meeting, that it shouldn't be answered either. We've gone from being a board that used to have discussions and workshops where we used to talk about information and share information as a whole.
Good
to a
point.
board that, as a majority, is anxious to get out and go home in as quick a time as possible, and we don't discuss things anymore. So I understand what Paulette's concern is.
I think that's unfair to kind of treat everybody like that and say that everybody's in a rush to get out of here. That might be your opinion.
That
Well,
seems to be the
that
case.
happens.
Okay.
I see it, you hear
So, like,
it.
you're asking a question
But
and
that's
they're
not-
trying to address it, so, well, I think all Anthony was saying is that for this, if you don't feel comfortable, so we can talk about it further,
Yeah.
you just vote on it separately, or we can take it off for now.
You
I would
know?
just
So I
add to that,
think-
so far, knock on wood, I feel like I've answered every question satisfactorily.
I think
So I feel pretty, like, curriculum and instruction is my bailiwick, so if you have questions about that, please ask, I'm happy to
And
answer.
then, Paul, like, normally the committees meet, and then they discuss it, and then bring it back. So what we can do is like, if you want more specific, or we can figure out maybe a way, and then Kyle tries to add the information into the highlight too. So, the committee meets, whether it's personnel or whatever, then they bring back in, and he puts it in the highlight what we talked about to make it, because if we, I think, go over too much as a group, then you have quorum, so we have to be a little bit careful.
I understand, and what's happening is, and it's true, we used to go into things more in depth.
Well,
And
look,
so-
specific questions, yeah, let's, like, there's a question you asked about curriculum. If there's specific questions, just like now, if Kyle or one of us can't answer, we can figure it out and discuss it. So the
Yeah,
question
absolutely.
is, just like with residency, right? So he's gonna share what the last thing that was done, so then maybe the next time everybody can look at it, and then if we think we wanna add stuff, then we can, and we can bring it up then, once we have it. And then the same with curriculum, so if there's a specific question, like about one of these classes, like once we look at it, give the specific questions, and then we can just kind of bring it up again and go over it, and talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's partly, like, I'll just take some blame for this, because when people ask me finance questions, I answer them, like, on a phone call or in an email or something like that, so I guess they're not brought up here. So it doesn't seem like we're not asking I'm not asking questions on finance, but I am getting questions that I'm fielding. And maybe I should just say, just answer them in the public, so
That's
there's
true,
more
and it's
discussion.
like people watching
So,
this.
um,
Again, it's just like, whatever, if I'm doing with something with Winfield, I'm gonna share it with you. We're not criticizing anyone, we're just saying it would be nice for, you just worked very hard on your committees to share what happened, what went on, when you met. We're not covering everything. I feel like I'm in the
Well,
dark.
we are, but everything is covered ahead of time.
I
So,
understand.
In order for efficiency, Kyle sends everything out in the highlights ahead of time, spends a lot of time on it.
I know.
So that everybody can read it, process it, and come back and ask questions ahead of time. And he always asks too, which is helpful to a superintendent, is to have the concerns and issues ahead of time so he can properly answer. Not saying we can't discuss it here, but then we're going over everything again, and he may not be able to answer your question. So now, if he has that question a few days ahead of time, he can prepare the information and bring it up, It would just, we're trying to, I don't think any intention for him or us is to rush. It's just to make it more effective too, so that he can answer, or any of us can answer the specific question. So
Yeah.
specific to curriculum, right, if you have a specific question, he could bring the information or whomever, so that we can discuss it,
Sure. And I give a pretty detailed
You
narrative
do, but then
of what's
you
going
wanna
on
say,
in the finance
you don't like this, you
committee.
want the job?
No, I'm just serious. I kind
I'm
of,
kidding. It's
I
okay.
kind of go over it, make sure you guys know exactly what's going on, either
pretty
on the
thorough, I have to
finance
say.
or what's going on with the facility.
And you have to understand, this isn't just we meet, but there's I don't know who's watching it, but this goes out to the public. And we just kind of always, seems to be sometimes rubber stamp stuff. Not that they're not, and this is not a criticism, but something to make us a little better, and that's what I feel.
Fine,
I shouldn't have went to those classes.
it's fine. Atlantic City is dangerous.
Okay.
So,
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
no. Okay, so I guess at this time, all the resolutions are organizational, so I would like to move.
I'm sorry,
oh,
for-
Well,
We're gonna do them
I
open to
do
the public.
need to vote on number 4 separately, because
Okay.
I remain opposed to the 7 o'clock start time as our regular board meeting, so
Okay,
for that reason and that reason only, I would be voting no on that.
okay.
We're gonna go, do open to the public and close, then we'll vote on the resolution.
Oh, okay, I apologize, sorry.
So at this time, can I please have a motion to open up the meeting to the public?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Haberthor, seconded by Mr. Biner. All those in favor of opening the meeting to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it, motion carried.
Seeing that there's no
30
public
seconds.
actually here, I make a motion to close to the public.
Do we have a second?
Thank you, Ryan.
Could be someone.
Another one.
Second, somebody.
Could be. Okay, motion made by Mrs. Zimmerman, seconded by Mrs. Tiers. All those in favor of closing the meeting to the public, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it, motion's carried, meeting is now closed to the public.
Okay.
You wanna do that?
Yeah, we have 20 resolutions on this evening's agenda. The first vote will be for 1 through 20, excluding number 4, which will be voted on separately. Biner.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Drogan.
Yes.
Ferrara.
Yes.
Haberthor.
Yes.
Ladati.
Yes.
Tiers.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Panici.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, next is for resolution number 4 on the agenda. Biner.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Drogan.
Yes.
Ferrara.
Yes.
Haberthor.
Yes.
Ladati.
Yes.
Tiers.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
No.
Panici.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Mr. Ganala, do we need to go into closed executive session?
We do not.
Okay, thank you so much. At this point, can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
So, yes.
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. David, and seconded by Mr. Ferrera. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Ayes have a motion carried, meeting is adjourned.
Hey Vince, do you know where next negotiation?